He's spitting facts right here, bro. I gotta be honest. He's absolutely right and he's on the money. He's firing on all cylinders. I absolutely agree with his take. I absolutely agree with his critique. But shut the freak up, you fat fraud, and finish your book while you're sitting over here talking about what House of the Dragon Season 2 got wrong based off an old book you wrote in 2018. Do you guys remember George R. R. Martin came out and said, I'm going to release a fiction. I'm going to write something about House of the Dragon Season 2 and what I didn't like. I'm not going to finish my book. I'm going to write about what other people are writing about my old book. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that time has come. He's officially put out the blog of things that he did not like about House of the Dragon Season 2. It's here. Beware the Butterflies. Dropped on September 4th, 2024. Now, I was told that, the person who sent me this, I was told that this was being taken down from a lot of places because HBO, I heard it, you guys could probably let me know, HBO was coming for him, trying to silence him. He's basically doing what Mark Hamill did with Star Wars. So, I was told that allegedly HBO is mad at him, told him to take his shit down. Websites are taking it down for him and stuff like that. So we got it. Shout out to the man who sent it to me. You know who you are. Beware the Butterflies. He says here, back in July, I promised you some further thoughts about Blood and Cheese. Now, I wanted to know what that was because I'm like, what the freak is Blood and Cheese? Blood and Cheese was episode 2 or 3, I think. It was the name of the episode in season 2 where they went to execute the king's son. That's what Blood and Cheese was called. And Maelor the Missing. After my commentary on the first 2 episodes at House of the Dragon Season 2, A Son for a Son and Rhaenyra the Cruel. Those were terrific episodes. Well written. He's talking about episodes 1 and 2. He's saying episodes 1 and 2 were good. So let's go back. Those were terrific episodes. Well written, well directed, powerfully acted. A great way to kick off the new season. Fans and critics alike seem to agree. There was only one aspect of those episodes that drew significant criticism: the handling of Blood and Cheese and the death of Prince Jaehaerys. From the commentary I saw online, one word, not two, opinion was split there. The readers of Fire and Blood found the sequence underwhelming, a disappointment, watered down from what they were expecting. Viewers who had not read the book had no such problems. That's absolutely true. I thought that the of that boy was gruesome. It was terrible, and I felt it in my gut. But instantly, you guys was in my comments saying, Jody, it was way more savage in the book, bro. Way more savage. So he's absolutely correct. I thought it was perfect. I thought it was enough. I thought it was great. The readers of Fire and Blood found the sequence underwhelming, disappointed, watered down from what they were expecting. Viewers who did not know had no such problems. Most of them found the sequence a real gut punch, tragic, horrifying, nightmarish, etc. Some reported being reduced to tears. I found myself agreeing with both sides. He says, in my book, Aegon and Helaena have 3 children, not 2. The twins, Jaehaerys, are 6 years old. They have a younger brother, Maelor, who is 2. When Blood and Cheese break in on Helaena and the kids, they tell her that they are debt collectors come to extract revenge for the death of Prince Lucerys, a son for a son. As Helaena has 2 sons, however, they demand that she choose which one should die. She resists and offers her own life instead. Wow. She, a mother. In the show, she was just, she didn't say nothing. That was trash. I said, why is she not? And man, she said, take my life instead. That's exactly what a mother would really do. Wow. She offers her own life instead, but the killers insist it has to be a son. If she does not name one, they will kill all 3 of them. Or maybe she did offer herself in a weird way. I don't remember. Or they'll kill all 3 of them. To save the life of the twins, Helaena names Maelor, but Blood kills the older boy, Jaehaerys, instead, while Cheese tells little Maelor that his mother wanted him dead. Whether the boy is old enough to understand that is not all certain. Dang, he said, your mother wanted you dead. Okay, that's pretty riveting. All right, that makes it a little better. That's not how it happens on the show. There is no Maelor in House of the Dragon. Only the twins, both whom look younger than 6. But I am no sure judge of children ages, so I can't be sure of how old they're supposed to be. Blood can't seem to tell the twins apart, so Helena is asked to reveal which one is the boy. You would think a glance up the PJs would reveal that without involving the mother. We were saying that in our react. It does make, he's right about that. He's right about that. You made the mother say, that's the one, him. Which it makes her look soulless and heartless. You know? It makes her look like a bad mom. They could have just, and it's poorly written, because you could have just see which one has the caulk. You could have just freaking looked. Weird. Blood can't seem to tell the twins apart. Helena did what he did, you know, blah, blah, blah. Here it is. Instead of offering her own life to save the kids, Helena offers them a necklace. That is what it was. Blood and Cheese are not tempted. Blood saws Prince Jaehaerys' head off. We are spared the sight of that, and sound effect suffices. In the book, he lops the head off with a sword. So the book version is better, definitely. And that, with that sequence, I think it could have been handled better. He says it's a bloody, brutal scene, no doubt. How not? An innocent child is being butchered in front of its mother. He says, I still believe the scene in the book is stronger. The readers have the right of that. The two killers are crueler in the book. I thought that the actors who played the killers on the show were excellent, but the characters are crueler, harder, and more frightening in Fire and Blood. In the show, Blood is a gold cloak. In the book, he's a former gold cloak stripped of his office for beating a woman to death. Book Blood is the sort of man who might think making a woman choose which one of her sons should die is amusing, especially when they double down on the wanton cruelty by murdering the boy she tries to save. Book Cheese is worse too. He does not kick a dog, true, but he does not have a dog. And he's the one who tells Maelor that his mom wants him dead. I would also suggest that Helena shows more courage, more strength in the book by offering her own life to save her son. Offering a piece of jewelry is just not the same. He's spitting facts right here, bro. I gotta be honest. He's absolutely right and he's on the money. He's firing on all cylinders. I absolutely agree with his take. I absolutely agree with his critique. But shut the freak up, you fat fraud, and finish your book while you're sitting over here talking about what House of the Dragon Season 2 got wrong based off an old book you wrote in 2018, 6 years ago. How about you work on that? Stop worrying about all the you're gonna smash. Stop worrying about these blog posts and the headlines that you're gonna make, because you're definitely making headlines. You're capping to the fans what you're doing with me right now. I'm saying, yeah, I'm rejoicing you. Yeah, you on point, George. Yeah. But also finish your shit, bro. That's not gonna work on me. It's gonna work on people who had an issue with House of the Dragon. It'll work on some of them. But I see you for what you are, bro. You a hacker, fraud. You're delaying. You're gonna wait till before that book is gonna be released as a freaking memoir, or like Fire and Blood, like a history telling. You ain't about to release that book, bro. You's a fraud out here, bro. Only thing you care about is getting big, being celebrated, going to cons and showing up, having people come up to you and ask for pictures and a hug. That's what you're doing. And even though this is fire, but what are you doing? Go finish your book, old man. How about you write some stuff that we actually want to see? How about that? Oh, we know you ain't gonna do that, though. We know you ain't gonna do that. As I saw it, the Sophie's Choice aspect was the strongest part of the sequence, the darkest, the most visceral. I hated to lose that. And judging from the comments online, most of the fans seem to agree. Who cares about what the See, you see what he's doing? He's trying to make a connection with the fans right now. He's weaponizing the fandom to be on his side. This is the not so genius, but this is the smart plot behind why he's even doing this, guys. I want you guys to see it. I want you guys to see it. When Ryan Condal first told me what he meant to do ages ago, back in 2022 it might be, I argued against it for all these reasons. I did not argue long or with much meat, however. Let's tell the truth. Maybe you want to keep that in there? Shut up, old man. Shut the freak up and let me do my job.
Oh, okay, I appreciate you. Can you validate my parking ticket?
No.
Okay, I'll just see myself out.
Shut up. I did not argue long or with much meat, however. The change weakened the sequence, I felt, but only a bit. And Ryan had what seemed to be practical reasons for it. They did not want to deal with the casting of another child, especially a 2-year-old toddler. Wow. You see how futile these things are? Simply because you didn't want to get a 2-year-old toddler actor is why you completely omitted the scene how it should have been done. Something as simple as that. They did not want to deal with casting another child, especially a 2-year-old toddler. Kids that young will inevitably slow down production, and there will be budget implications. Budget was already an issue on House of the Dragon. It made sense to save money wherever we could. Moreover, Ryan assured me that they were not losing Prince Maelor, simply postponing him. Queen Helena could still give birth to him in season 3, presumably after getting with child late in season 2. That made sense to me, so I withdrew my objections and acquiesced to the change. So I want you guys to understand that if they're talking about getting pregnant later, we might be getting into spoilers for season 3 and season 4. So at this moment, I want to give you guys a spoiler alert because I'm sensing it too. So I'm okay with getting. I don't give a shit about House of the Dragon. I'll be honest with you. This thing is doomed. It's doomed. It's fake woke. It's full of agenda, nigga. You cast out. You ruined a scene based off of not getting a 2-year-old, but you shoehorned a trans lesbian out of nowhere. Shut the freak up, HBO. You're garbage. Shut the freak up. You guys make me sick. You guys ain't HBO no more. I don't know what you guys are. Game of Thrones is dead, man. They won't even show titties, man. You won't even show me titties in this shit. You're showing hole and cocks and balls because you ain't got none. Man, shut up. HBO is dead. You right, exclusive. He says, I still love the episode and the blood and cheese sequence overall. Losing the Helena's choice beat did weaken the scene, but not to any great degree. Only the book readers who would even notice the absence. Viewers who had never read Fire and Blood will still find the scenes heart-rending. Maelor did not actually do anything in the scene after all. How could he? He was only 2 years old. There's another aspect to the removal of the young princeling, however. Those of you who hate spoilers should stop reading here. Oh, shoot. There it is. Give it to me. Yeah, I don't take this seriously. I don't take this like Game of Thrones. By the way, I would like to formally announce that we will be re-reacting to Game of Thrones season 1. I can't wait. We have another perspective on life. We've seen the show, and looking back and re-reacting to that, reliving those memories, it should be a great time. So, guys, re-reactions to season 1 of Game of Thrones are coming to Jody's Corner, and the OG original reactions from back in the day will be given to our patrons on Patreon, and as well as members. If you're a member of Jody's Corner, you will get them as well. It's going to be fun. Okay. Spoilers. I'm ready. Spoil me, baby. Spoilers will follow, at least for the readers among you. If you never read Fire and Blood, maybe it doesn't matter, because all I'm doing is to spoil here are things that happen in my book that may never happen on the series, starting with Maelor himself. Here we go. Okay. Sometime between the initial decision to remove Maelor, a big change was made. The prince's birth was no longer just going to be pushed back to season 3. He was never going to be born at all. The younger son of Aegon and Helena would never appear. Most of you know about the butterfly effect, I assume. Yes, there was a movie with that title a few years back. Yes, it was. The butterfly effect with... Who was that? Was that Kelso? I think it was Kelso. Yeah, Ashton Kutcher. Okay, so it's a familiar... it's a familiar concept in chaos theory as well. But most science fiction fans were first exposed to the idea in Ray Bradley's classic A Time Travel Story called A Sound of Thunder, wherein a time traveler from the present panics and crushes a butterfly while hunting a T-Rex. When he returns to his own time, he discovers that the world has changed in a huge, frightening way. One dead butterfly has rewritten history, the lesson being that change begets change, and even small and seemingly insignificant alterations to a timeline or story can have profound effect that all follows. As you guys know, don't touch that grass, because you never know what could change in the reality of the future. Don't speak, don't do anything to anybody. Butterfly effect. Maelor is a 2-year-old toddler in Fire and Blood. But like our butterfly, he has an impact on the story all out of proportion to his size. The readers among you may recall that when it appears that Rhaenyra and her blacks are about to capture King's Landing, Queen Alicent becomes concerned for her safety, the safety of Helena's remaining children, and takes steps to save them by smuggling them out of the city. The task is given to 2 knights of the Kingsguard, Sir Willis Fell in command to deliver Princess Jaehaera to the Baratheons at Storm's End, while Maelor is given over to Sir Rickard Thorne to be escorted across the Mander to the protection of the Hightower army on his way to King's Landing. So that's basically where season 2 ended, right? Because you know, Alicent came to Rhaenyra and said, "Spare my son." "I ain't sparing your son. He killed mine." "No." "Okay, take my life." "Okay, I'll open the gates for you when you come to King's Landing." Basically, that's where that moment is. But this is basically the beginning of season 3. Okay, so let's move forward. Willis Fell delivers Jaehaera safely to the Baratheons at Storm's End, but Sir Rickard fares less well. He and Maelor get as far as Bitterbridge, where he is revealed as a Kingsguard in a tavern called the Hog's Head. Once discovered, Sir Rickard fights bravely to protect his young charge and bring him to safety, but he does not even make it across the bridge before some crossbows bring him down. Prince Maelor is torn from his arms and then, sadly, ripped into pieces by the mob fighting over the boy and the huge reward that Rhaenyra has offered for his capture and return. That's gruesome and riveting. Imagine, you see an arm, you see a leg and a foot. Oh my goodness. Wow. You guys still with me? Let's keep going. Will any part of that appear on the show? Maybe, but I don't see how. The butterflies would seem to prohibit it. You could perhaps make Sir Rickard's ward be Jaehaera instead of Maelor, but Jaehaera can't be killed. She has a huge role to play in Aegon's next heir. As Aegon's next heir. Could maybe make Maelor a newborn instead of a 2-year-old, but that would scramble up the timeline, which is a bit of a mess already. I have no idea what Ryan has planned, if indeed he has planned anything. But given Maelor's absence from episode 2, the simplest way to proceed would to just drop him entirely. Lose a bit where Alicent tries to send the kids to safety, drop Rickard Thorne or send him with Willis Fell, so Jaehaera has 2 guards. So he just thinks he's just going to drop it. I don't even know. He just said, I don't even know if he has anything planned, if anything at all. They're probably just going to drop it. It just wouldn't make sense. So he thinks that they're going to omit that as well from the show. Wow, this is kind of crazy, guys. Because you're right, Pac. That does sound fire. Let's move on. From what I know, what seems to be what Ryan is doing here, it's simplest, yes, and makes sense in the terms of the budget and shooting schedules. But simpler is not better. Whoa! The Bitter Bridge scene has tension, suspense, action, bloodshed, and a bit of heroism and a lot of tragedy. Rickard Thorne is a treachery character at best. Most viewers, as opposed to the readers, will never know he's gone, since they will never know him at all. But I rather liked giving him his brief moment of heroism, a taste of the courage and loyalty of the Kingsguard, regardless of whether they are black or green. Man, this motherfucker's shooting shots. He said, this is the simplest thing you're doing. You're taking the easy way out. He's exposing you guys for being cookie cutter. And this is in alignment with everything that I've said with a lot of these fake woke agenda-filled PC shows. You are so focused on fitting in agenda that you cut corners and you don't develop the series on its own merit. That's how shows and movies have gotten ruined over the last 5, 6, 7 years. And George is calling that out. You still a hoe, George. You still a hoe. But I could be objective. The butterflies are not done with us yet. However, in the book, when the Prince Maelor's death and the grisly manner of his passing reaches the Red Keep, that proves to be the thing that drives Queen Helena to suicide. Oh, fuck. She could barely stand to look at Maelor, knowing that she chose him to die in the Sophie's Choice scene, and now he's dead in truth, her words having come true. The grief and the guilt are too much for her to bear. In Ryan's outline for season 3, oh shoot! That's a spoiler. You just revealed the outline. In Ryan's outline for season 3, Helena still herself for no reason. There is no fresh horror, no triggering event to overwhelm the fragile young queen. Oh my God! What are you guys doing? You're going to have her off herself? Why? You're going to blame it on mental health? If she was going to off herself, she would have done it in season 2 after her child was beheaded. Oh, it's not going to make any sense. It's not going to fit. It's not going to have any fluidity. It's going to be horrible. She's going to off herself in the worst way possible. God damn. This outline, he said he's snitching. In Ryan's outline that I saw, he's going to have her still kill herself, but without anything. This boy George is mad. Bro, this ain't dry snitching. This is wet snitching. This is he dipping in a pool of water, and then you know what? His outline, he got her dying still. Damn. Now I understand why they're shutting you up. Now I understand why they're coming for you, bro. You are 100% giving up the goods. Wow. And the final butterfly follows soon thereafter. Here we go. We're about to get spoiled. Because the show's doing things different than the book. So this, like he said, this might not even happen in the show. Queen Helena, a sweet and gentle soul, is much beloved by the small folk of King's Landing. Rhaenyra was not. So when rumors began to arise that Helena did not kill herself, but rather was murdered at Rhaenyra's command, the commons are quick to believe them. That night, King's Landing rose in bloody riot. I wrote on page 506 in Fire and Blood, it is the beginning of the end for Rhaenyra's rule over the city, ultimately leading to the storming of the Dragon Pit and the rise of the Shepherd's mob that drives Rhaenyra to flee the city and return to Dragonstone and her death. She died. Okay, everybody died. So she took over the city. She came back. She's not even back in King's Landing yet. So she comes back, and they believe, they turn on Rhaenyra because the queen died. They riot, and she has to run back to Dragonstone. She flees King's Landing. Maelor by himself means little. He's a small child, does not have a line of dialogue, does nothing of consequence but die. But where and when and how, that does matter. Losing Maelor weakened the end of the blood and cheese sequence. But it also cost us the bitter bridge scene with all of its horror and heroism. It undercut the motivation for Helena's suicide. And that in turn sent thousands into the streets and the alleys, screaming for justice for their murdered queen. None of that is essential, I suppose. But all of it does serve a purpose. It all helps to tie the storylines together so no one follows another in a logical and convincing manner. What we will offer the fans instead once we've killed these butterflies, I have no idea. I do not recall that Ryan and I ever discussed this back when he first told me what they were pushing back on Aegon's second son. Maelor himself is not essential, but if losing him means we lose Bitterbridge, Helena's suicide, and the riots, well, that's a considerable loss. And there are larger, more toxic butterflies to come in House of the Dragon. Goes ahead with some of the changes being contemplated for seasons 3 and 4. Oh my God, he left an even more somber outline. God damn. There are more larger and more toxic butterflies to come in House of the Dragon if House of the Dragon goes ahead with some of the changes being contemplated for season 3. Holy freak. George basically says, I already know what they're going to do. I already know what they're contemplating for season 3 and 4, and it's going to be a problem. Guys, he's trash, but I agree. House of the Dragon, and I've told you guys I knew this in season 1. Season 1 is kind of mid too. That's weak. But there was moments in it where we're good. But season 1, this series isn't great. And I knew in season 1, I'm like, this ain't Game of Thrones. Miss me with this shit. And a lot of you book readers got upset. But here's George telling you, like, I'm the book maker, and I'm upset. But I'm not upset at niggas like me, real niggas on YouTube, who are calling out the bad show as they see it. Because the show is not the book, guys. You gonna get mad at me because I don't like the show. Because you read the book? Go read the book again. I'm watching a show. The show is not the book. You guys need to understand that. It's an adaptation. They're different. And I don't like the show because it's not great. It's not good. Season 2 especially. So I knew early, man, this ain't Game of Thrones. This ain't no legacy here. They ain't gonna repeat that. No. You guys are scared of being canceled. You guys are proponents of cancel culture. You won't even let your actress show her titties because you're worried about a lawsuit. Freak out of here, bro. Of course House of the Dragon is going to be bull. And here's George basically saying season 3 and season 4 are going to be just like season 1 and season 2. That's him saying it. Now do you guys understand that George R.R. Martin is a freaking scam artist, but he does know his fiction. I never challenged his mind. I never challenged how he could write a story. He's one of the greatest. He's one of the greatest. My problem is what he's not doing. Finish your greatness. He rather shit on this because he feels like George Lucas does. Star Wars took his babies and took a big shit on them. The phone lines are open. The phone lines are open if you want to call in with a disagreement. I told you. Did I not tell y'all? I told y'all he's a fraud. I told y'all he ain't shit. I told y'all that House of the Dragon was whack. But a lot of people were trying to cap for it. And, you know, I don't know if I was a book reader, would I still cap for the show? I don't think that I would. I think I would be even more mad at the show. The type of person that I am, if I've read a book, I would have to completely not compare them like I do with comic books. I'm not gonna take what I know about Infinity War and apply that to this movie. I just can't. You just can't do that. You're setting yourself up to be mad. So I would separate the two. I believe that's the best way to do it. You have to separate what you know from the book from what you're gonna watch with the series. That's what you have to do. As we got a nice donation from my dude Osmosis Jones. Shout out to you, bro. Thank you so very much for the love. He said, freak House of the Dragon. You know what, bro? I'm with you. Freak House of the Dragon. And that's why I'm about to do something great. I'm about to go back and watch Game of Thrones. That absolutely exists, and it's awesome, right? Definitely, we're not going to rewatch seasons 8 or 7. For me, the show is 1 through 6. 1 through 6. So we're going to start with season 1, and that's how we're going to take it. Let's go ahead and bring in Bold. You trash hoe. What's up with it?
You trash. And how you? I don't understand. I can't. I guess I can't grasp what you're complaining about at this table,
Mm,
because it sounds like George and you saying the same.
yeah,
Y'all complaining about the same.
yeah. Once again, I am I'm telling you how I was right for calling him a fraud and a scam artist. He's a lazy fat piece of shit who just wants to be admonished and admired by young ladies like yourself.
I knew that Helena. That's how she died, and Joffrey told us how Rhaenyra died. But like this, taking out Jaehaerys, and then I found out like, cause I don't. When it comes to the book Fire and Blood, I purposefully did not read at the whole thing. The parts that I did read, I stopped, and then like big plot points I know that happen, I kind of stay away from them, and then I let the show tell me. Then I go back and I compare. I go and do my research, but I didn't know that Jaehaerys was the catalyst for no Maegor. I didn't know that he was the catalyst for her stuff. So
Oh
once you take that out of the equation, this makes it all dumb
man, so
to me.
Rhaenyra, she freaking lost the people. She went back to liberate them and then lost them because that doesn't make see this how it doesn't work in the show because in the show they don't love that retarded.
Hmm.
They don't
They
love
kind
her.
of they Otto had her doing that PR when they made after they saw her baby head off, and he was like, "Go outside." She's
Yes.
like, "Why I gotta go outside with the peasants and shit?"
Yeah.
So they was like, "My queen, my queen." They like her for like the figurehead,
They
but they
empathize with a
don't
mother
really
losing her
like.
child. That's what that was.
Yeah, but they really not going up with her like that in the show as they should for PR purposes. Cause your husband beheaded the damn rat catchers
Yeah.
or put them up to dry. Then on top of that, everybody hungry, nobody getting fed. The word on the street is y'all have banquets every night in the castle. So like y'all, you really hated on
But look at it, Bold. She brought them food. Rhaenyra did, and they turned on Rhaenyra because for some
yeah,
reason the
cause the
people
queen died.
believe that Rhaenyra ordered because of the death of the boy. But why would they
Yeah,
ever accept you then? Why would they even let you come into King's Landing then? If they already believe that you killed the boy. But that's what the White Worm was doing. She was changing that narrative and they were embracing Rhaenyra. So they can't use the fact that she commits suicide to blame Rhaenyra. They can't go back.
but also the you got to keep in mind like it's like it's 50-50 split because you saw what happened at the well we didn't see nothing actually at that windmill battle where
Right.
half of them was like she's
Right.
a kinslayer and the other
Right.
half was like no she ain't you a bitch.
Yeah.
So it's like it's a mixed bag of whatever, and then all of a sudden when she's storming the Capitol taking over command, and then Helena died, she's at fault for it.
So I mean, how do you feel? I mean, House of the Dragons trash, bro. We gotta stop. We gotta call a
It's
spade a spade. I don't know how you feel
it
about the
I
first two
mean you
seasons.
say you just gotta separate from what is given to us than what is being shown to us.
What is being shown? You like it? You think it's good? You think it's well written?
Am I entertained? Season one I was entertained. Season two, it just seemed like I was more entertained by the dragons than the actual people.
And those were few and far between. What dragons? We barely seen any dragons at all.
We saw Maylis body slam Vagar. We saw a lot of Vagar big BJ, and then we saw when Vermithor burnt up them people. Other than that, really, we ain't got nothing really. We had 8 episodes.
Oh, yo.
Trixie, Christian Black, welcome, welcome.
Yo, what's up?
Trixie, speak on it. Bold
Mate, you
Captain.
know me, I got no complaints about this show, bruv. Like, I don't like House of the Dragon. Didn't like season 2. Think it's whack. We know the book's always better than the show, or name one show that's better than any goddamn book. And he's right with the butterfly effect, but for fuck's sake, finish your goddamn book, you fat.
Yeah.
And, he literally left it, oh yeah, there's gonna be more spoilers. Why? Because you don't really know what the they're doing. You're assuming they're gonna, because they cut your ass out.
Yeah.
Like the rest of the damn show they
Yep.
doing. You done, motherfucker.
Yep.
Finish your book.
He's basically confirming
right,
what
that's
I
what I
said
have to
about him.
say.
They're keeping him at distance. They're not telling him everything.
Yeah.
He knows very
Yeah,
little.
they're like, hey, they're like, they get those dailies, so those stupid like little daily things. I bet he gets like a quarterly. Here's a little 10-minute DVD of like a little some shit we're gonna do, and that's that because we've already done it for you.
He basically
See,
said,
I'm
"I
gonna
know the
turn.
outline of what they're planning to do, and it's not good."
I think honestly they can still make the suicide work. And the reason why I think they can still make the suicide work is because they can easily say that because she had to choose her son dying, that's what drove her to suicide. And I suspect
It's too
that's
late.
how. No,
It's too
I
late to do that,
suspect
though.
no, that is not necessarily. And the reason why I say that is because if you remember, she went into a catatonic state the moment she went into a catatonic state
What does
when she
catatonic
went
mean?
into she froze up. Her in her mind
Oh,
she
okay.
froze up.
She
Like
mentally broke.
she couldn't react. She couldn't respond.
Yeah.
And when you go into that state, your brain it's a safety mechanism for your brain because you witnessed something traumatic. And that's what George R. Martin basically described. Well, he didn't describe that, but he basically was like describing something very traumatic. And I think that same scene would have worked, even with what he wrote. But we got the same effect. It was something very traumatic, and she ran into her mom's room and she just sat there with her daughter. If you still play along those same lines, I think and this is just me. I still think it's bad. Don't get me wrong. But I think that's the line of thinking that they're going to use instead of having Maylor
But they
and
can't,
say,
Chris, is what I'm saying. It's too late because
No, they'll PTSD it.
Rhaenyra already won the people by giving them food. They already are wanting her to come and take over King's Landing. So if she kills herself based off of her losing her other son, to go back and say that she's doing it because Rhaenyra was known back in the day as the one who killed the first son, that doesn't make sense to the show.
listen,
Maybe
I'm
she
not saying.
commit suicide in the show. Maybe they'll
Listen,
actually kill
I'm
her.
not saying. Listen, I'm not saying it's gonna make sense. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, I suspect that like if they're still going to follow with the suicide, that's going to be the reason that they put in the show. But I'm not saying it's going to make sense. The reasoning in the show is going to be that she is still upset about her son's death, and that's what drove her to be suicidal. Or they're going to use they're going to have a combination of her dreams and the death of her son. I'm not saying that. I'm saying you could that thing got more holes than Swiss cheese.
Right.
But
She's not
I
even
think
important in the
PTSD
show though. Like she has
psychosis.
no importance in the show. Like in the book, she sounds like she's important, but not in this show.
oh
Who
yes,
cares if she does?
well yeah,
In
like
fact, it was y'all, and I say y'all as in
How
a
she
group.
died.
Y'all the ones that said she can't even ride a dragon because she's retarded.
I mean yeah, like she has all basically she's on the spectrum. Like she's not
Why
going to
does that mean you
be on
can't
her.
ride a dragon? You could be
She's not
autistic and
going to
ride a
ride.
dragon.
Played. She
She's not going
plays
to
by
ride
her
her dragon.
values.
But my thing is, which is what makes me upset about it, is the fact that you created this character, this one dimension that is one dimensional. This basically has one thing about them that she has dreams, she's on the spectrum. There's really you didn't do anything with them. She has this one pivotal moment of like having to choose one of her children, and then all of a sudden you basically just said, oh yeah, by the way, I'm gonna now make this character commit suicide for no reason. And it's like, okay, this is paper thin. And I guarantee you
Right.
the excuse is going to be, oh, it was because of her dreams and her kid that she committed suicide. And
Okay.
I'm
I have a
like,
question
I feel like it
or a
doesn't
thought.
matter. I feel it doesn't matter if she's not even that important in the show versus the book. Go ahead, Bolt.
I have a thought. It's due to her not being that important. I don't think it's. I think it's how she does, not the fact that she does. I might. The show seem for me. The show seems to have this thing of where they're clearing up things that seem to be hearsay. Like for when Luke got ate, it seemed like it was malicious intent, but then we found out later that Aemon was really not trying to kill him like that, or
Mm-hmm.
that it was an accident. And then we have like other things, or some for some, or air for a day. They don't actually show these characters saying it outright. They have
Which is
remorse
bad,
of
right?
how it's said. So does Helena really kill herself? I can see the show going in a way of saying, "Oh, she killed herself to the naked eye," but maybe somebody pushed her ass. Maybe she got murdered. Who knows? We probably
That would
won't
be
get
that would be an
Murder, yeah.
interesting twist.
Murder could work. All right, somebody
But
killed her.
that's not
Yeah.
even but that's not even the biggest issue I have. The biggest issue I have, and this is a problem I have with both George R. R. Martin and Ryan, is the lack of is what they did to basically is what they did to Rhaenyra. It's the issue that I have. And it's the fact that you built this character in one hand, they built this character up to we have two different Rhaenyras. We have a villainous Rhaenyra that is bloodthirsty, where you have essentially where like R. Martin said like in the blog where the people turned against her, and then in the show you have a Rhaenyra where they basically painted her into a hero, and they were like she's the hero in the story,
Why is that a
she's the
problem for you?
reluctant.
What's that? Why is that a problem?
It's a problem because I feel like just as you said, the tail end where he said there's more toxic butterflies. I feel like we're about to get a Danny situation where they're now about to turn her out the blue into this villainous person, and I'm gonna be pissed off because I'm gonna be like, I'm not about to watch this show no more.
Oh, you think Rhaenyra
But
is
with
gonna go mad Targaryen?
Yes, and out of
but
the
with
blue, she's going to be a psychotic Targaryen, and it's like, where did this come from?
ain't
No one
but
cares. They said
I
that the
don't think
Mad
she's gonna
Queen
do
did it.
that.
They
I
let
reckon
Daenerys did it, and no one gave a shit. They were like, oh, that's what happens. They've been telling you the whole show that she's Mad Queen.
nah,
Freak you fans. You
nah.
make
Her
me sick.
descent
I
into
don't think she'll go there.
craziness
I
happened
reckon.
abruptly.
I saw this. I already called this the moment that I saw how season two was running. If I don't know if anybody caught that, but I said I just don't feel like anything is purposeful. I felt like this is just one big giant accident, and Kristen stole my. It's the main two characters, Alicent and Rhaenyra, who are opposite from. When you make people very opposite from a story that necessarily drives off of ambition, bloodthirsty, and straight out just political steps into ruling and making sure that you're on top, there is no accidents. Everything's kind of like, okay, whatever benefits us is going to benefit us, regardless if it was right or wrong. And that's a whole entire war. But when you make the two characters all this, and I'm not mad you made them friends, but once that friendship ends at the death of two important characters, being the little boy and then her Rhaenyra's son, that thing got to go. It got to go south. It got to go
But
bloodthirsty.
you talk about the book, though, right? Because she doesn't have the two sons, right? In the show.
That's another problem. This is all one big giant plot hole. And
How
they've
do
been
you feel
trying
about
to
House of the
address
Dragon?
that shit.
Are you a House of the Dragon cocksucker like most people on the internet?
Hell no.
Okay. I don't remember where you were.
Absolutely not.
I don't remember what side of the trough you landed on, bro. But I'm willing to wager
was
that you was
neutral.
one of them, just like Bo was, just like Chris is.
No, I didn't. I
Yeah.
didn't like it. I didn't like it because I said I start noticing
See,
things that were like you going
People
far
gonna be
from
changing
the
their
book.
tune now. Y'all be changing y'all tune and shit with shit.
Jody, I'm not a person that
I'm
enjoyed the show. I remember
Okay.
I graded season 1. You asked me this. I think it was episode 2 into the season. You asked me like, what's your grade for it? I said I gave it like a 6.
Okay, that's about right. All right.
For season 1, I graded a 6, and I
Okay.
said number 2, I said it's a 4.
All right. It just seems like as time goes on and things start to settle is when people's opinion starts to develop.
I called this
All right.
I called it season 2 for episode 3. I called
Got
that
you.
shit.
Got you. Okay. Well, I appreciate y'all input and feedback, and thank you guys for calling.
You trash, Jody.
Yeah.
Y'all come and see me again, bo. Freak you. there's that. Let me go up what you guys think in the comment section down below. The discussion continues.